Alrighty. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Let me get a little bit more music going over here. I need to add in a playlist. All right. Bitcoin. We're basically just still consolidating within this descending channel here. We continue to put in some bullish divergence on the lows. At least I noticed it on the week on the 1 hour time frame that we're still putting in some bullish divergence there. One of the biggest things that I'm noticing in the chart right now is we have a large parallel channel here on this monthly time frame here, and you can see how before the monthly candle closed, how we got the push up into the resistance here. Go ahead and take that off the chart. We got the push up into the resistance here. And as we got that monthly close, we slid back down below the channel here. And now we're rejecting off of it. So I put it on a line chart. You can see it a lot easier how we're now rejecting from the lower bounds of the channel. One of the other things also is something I've been discussing with you, and that has been the MACD. We were looking for that monthly close to actually show that the MACD was crossing the zero line. And historically in the past, whenever the MACD, and it's not a lot of data, when I say historically in the past, but once the MACD crosses below the zero line, Bitcoin has a tendency to continue down for an extra 20% sell-off. And so we're at that phase now that could be what we're inbound for here, especially seeing that rejection coming in here from the parallel channel. Now that we're stuck underneath it, we had something pretty similar over here. So before any of this noise right here took place, if I take this channel here and move it. So if I take the channel here, and if I was looking at it, I'm gonna put it right here. So if all I had to go off of initially was these 2 points right here and connect it to the low right here, you see right here where MACD was underneath the zero line after the channel was broken, underneath the zero line here, and then you got that continued roll off right here. And I said it tends to be an extra 20%. Actually, let me do this. I know that I've done this before already. I think it would have been right here. And yeah, so right here you can see, actually that's a 32% sell-off. Let me make sure, let me just drop that down. I want to make sure that in the right spot. I may not have that number on. Yep, I was in the right spot. So yeah, that was an extra 32% right there. If I put it on the low, because there's the close of that candle that confirms. Yeah, so the close of that candle that confirms the MACD cross below the zero line is right there. So that's the 20% right there. So that's what we've seen before. That's one time. There was an additional time in here as well where we did the same thing. I pushed this back, and I may have to switch my chart to, okay, so we got this one right here. And it looks like we went down right here. I'm on the right one. In this case right here, it actually pushed up first. And then we got that sell off in here. So that's 48. It's 48% right there. I think that was, yep, just those two right there. Yeah, like I said, it's not a lot of data um, that suggests that anything I'm saying is going to make any sort of sense, but we are below that zero here. And the amount of the move, I can tell you from this right here though for sure, is it's a if you had a midpoint in here, just say you're using the channel for your deviation in here. So from that midpoint right there, we do a deviation to the downside. You see that? So that's a two two standard deviations. From here, this would have been one standard deviation. This is two standard deviations right here from this channel. So turn that mid off right there. Put this back. Although I don't really see us going down this low, it's very possible we could come in here and hit this. So we could be somewhere between 40 to 30. If something like that were to happen, I honestly don't see this sort of deviation right here happening right here, which would take some time, several months, if something like that were to happen. And we're coming to a point where um, our 1 year bear market is coming to an end. So we'll have to see some sort of disastrous event take place for that to even happen. I'm still just kind of stuck on this area right here, to be honest with you. In terms of holding the prior highs, I'm just still kind of stuck on that because if there's nothing else to go off of, it is holding the prior highs, which is something that Bitcoin has always done. Is held its prior highs in the bear market. So we're holding that right now with that VWAP down below. We didn't quite get into all the way down here into the highs right here, at least not from a monthly standpoint. From a weekly standpoint, we did. So the weekly, you would have seen us holding our prior highs right there. And just like over here, holding the prior highs in here. But I am on a monthly time frame, so it makes a difference. But yeah, we're holding the prior highs, and that's something that Bitcoin has consistently done. But right now, it's just this little rejection here on the monthly time frame from the bottom side of this parallel channel that we have. We need to see a reclaim back above this channel right here, or things could start to get a little bit sticky. Um, so just kind of doing away with the channel. We know our major trend line through here has been holding up really well, along with that VWAP, which you can see us touching it here as opposed to on the monthly time frame, because it's going to vary. If you plot the VWAP on the monthly time frame, it's going to be off a couple of dollars versus plotting it on a weekly time frame or a daily time frame. It's going to be off a couple of dollars, but so far so good. And then that value area low is sitting right here around that 54. So, I mean, that part right there is possible. Maybe we take liquidity over the trend line, something like that. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much there and done with this move to the downside. The bullish divergence here on the weekly time frame is still intact. So that's still a good thing. Still holding the bullish divergence in here until invalidated. And we might be able to invalidate this portion of bullish divergence, but I seriously doubt that we're going to invalidate this portion of bullish divergence. Like this low right here on the RSI would still be intact from what I can see. But we could just sweep this low in here, drop into the value area low right in here, if anything. So that's for our weekly. Daily, you saw the other channel in here off of the 4-hour time frame, which I'm gonna walk my way back down there. But here on the daily time frame, and we are kind of we're still a little bit bearish right now. Can tell you, we did get the break of momentum right here, and so all we've after we got this last little push up right here back into that channel, we did get the breakdown right here, and it looks like we've already done some sort of a back test here. Um, a back test here on the RSI, the lows of the RSI right here. But this is rolling over. This is rolling over for the time being. The only hopium I could see right here again, if we're not gonna break down and hit that 50, would be to put in the head and shoulders right here. We have confirmation of the bullish divergence right here um, for this to actually be an inverse head and shoulder. I think the golden pocket, let's see where our golden pocket would be stationed at. Yeah, if we were to take out this liquidity right in here, um, which seems highly likely that we do get in here and take out this liquidity right here at these lows. That was the liquidity move that we got from about 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago, right through here. And then we also ended up pumping off of some news off of these lows right through here. So that could be up for grabs. Hold that and then be ready for the rocket ship to launch. If we're not jumping down, if we're not pushing down here to take out that liquidity and hit the 50. Right now it seems I don't know. I'm really leaning towards the low being in, but it's so hard to sit here and tell you something like that right now. Um, we've been hammering at that value area low. Uh, this one we've been tapping into it quite a bit. So at some point, it's just going to be a failed move down below it, and we're not gonna come back up above it. And once we take that liquidity from those lows, um, yeah, it'll be somewhere in here. I think it's going to be the same. Let me see. Yeah, that looks like that's going to be the same. That's the yeah, right in here. This is what I'm looking at right here. This box. So just slightly down below that golden pocket. I'm looking right here at this box because you have to break below this one wick right here, which has the greatest amount of volume underneath it. You have to break down below that wick, which means you push past your 0.61 your golden pocket 0.618. That means you're going to push past that. So support level is going to come in right here off the prior highs. If that helps you with not just buying it because it taps into the golden pocket. Okay. I am in a little bit of a long um because of this scenario right here. It doesn't I don't it doesn't look too good in my opinion, at least not in the moment. It's like price action is looking to roll back over and take out these equal lows right here. So this is up for grabs. If you're in a long as well, off of this drop, thinking that this value area low is going to hold up again. Again, this double bottom equal liquidity is up for grabs, which means we could roll back down below here and take out these lows right here. little smaller channel right here, which is this one right here. Um, uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Trying to figure out. Every time I draw it, I got to figure out like what numbers I need to change, how I need to do this. There we go. Right there. It can be a little cleaner sometimes than the Bollinger Band. Um, that's all. It can just be a little cleaner. That's why I'm using the channel instead of the Bollinger. But you can see the Bollinger right here. So the Bollinger is showing us that we're above the standard deviation 20. Uh, I mean the mean 20, standard deviation 1. This is more so our resistance area right here. And look for this to pop back down and take out those equal lows. I really do see us taking out these equal lows down through here. The time will tell. The little the long position that I have right now, up a little bit. Up a little bit. Big week this week. I'm gonna set an alert on this. So if it does break to the downside, then we can catch it there. And if we do push to the upside, we might find ourselves hitting. Let's see. Turn the alert on this one to look for a long setup. In the event that this one right here fails, and to look for a short setup. So I put an alert on that. And then just put an alert here. Whichever one happens first. Let me just check and make sure. That's going to be a good option. You know what? How about I'm going to move this, set it right here. Right here to where we capped out at before. This little struggle area right here. All right, great. Yep, we'll go with that. So once one of these alarms go off, then I'll come back over here to the Bitcoin chart. I got a lineup today. I gave myself a timer to keep myself in track here. We do have a lot going on this week with earnings. We have today, before open, we have Marriott reporting earnings. That's one of the only ones I really see for today, aside from Palantir, which is it's going to take place around 4:05 Eastern Time PM, 4:05 PM Eastern Time. Other ones you might have in here is going to be Snap and Whirlpool for after close. You're familiar with them. The biggest day. Well, actually, we got a couple of big days in here this week. But Tuesday, we do have AMD reporting earnings after close. We have SpaceX reporting as well. They're about 15 minutes apart from each other with reporting their earnings. You have Caterpillar, you have Pfizer, um, and share this tab right here from Earnings Whisperer. Um, you have McDonald's in here. They're going to be reporting BP, Marathon. So you got a lot of good names in here. Booking Holding. These are some ones that I have been doing some analysis on, but the only ones I'm going to cover today is going to be the Palantir, the AMD, and SpaceX. Moving forward this week, we have on Wednesday, we have Eli Lilly, we have SanDisk, that's a huge one. Shopify, that's going to be a big one. Uber, Elf, it's a nice one. Circle, Riot, Beyond Meat, that's another one. I know they're down in the dirt, but it's going to be a good one to see what they end up doing. Hopefully you can see this. We got DraftKings on Thursday, Rigetti on Thursday also, and Conoco Phillips. I don't really see any other ones in here that I really care a whole lot about. So Wendy's right over here. All right. But let's get into this. Palantir. I dropped a couple of I don't know, guides for you. It does require you to click a link. I did this over the weekend. I did it for Palantir. I did it for SpaceX as well. The one for AMD, I just kept it really short. So that's just posted. So you can see that one. The other two for space, the other two, which is SpaceX and Palantir, you do have to click the link. It's just a Canva link. And I know a lot of people are really hesitant about clicking links, but there's some great information in here. I took the time to make sure that you had a cheat sheet that you can go back and at any time and look at it. And if I update anything, you'll find it in there. But this is just showing you what you can expect for Palantir today. Again, they're reporting at 4:05 p.m. Eastern time. Um, the key expectations for them: total revenue 1.81 billion, that's an 80% year over year growth. Adjusted EPS 34 to 35 cents, 118% year over year growth. The government revenue, they're looking for 916.2 million, and commercial revenue 892.1 million. So these are the expectations for Palantir, and I'm actually pretty bullish on Palantir chart right now in terms of not using any margin, but just DCAing into it. I think it's at a really great place right now to start scooping some up. I really think they're at a great place to start scooping some up. You have Wall Street bulls in here anticipating an upbeat, so that's nice to see. Expect management to bump full year guidance closer to 75% plus growth. The only downfall that I can see right now for Palantir is not being able to really keep up with demand. So that's been hurting them a lot, and it's been sliding all year long, but that's okay. I think right now it is pretty much at a great place to want to scoop some up. What could affect price or spook investors? So beating the numbers is just not going to be enough. You know, we understand that they want to see the U.S. government commercial growth. They do want to see that, and again, what I said about meeting the demand. That's like a really big thing. That's one of the downfalls of Tesla. Um, is not producing the things that they've been talking about, and that caused the stock to go down. So Margin compression or a higher surge. Investors reward Palantir for scale and efficiency. Efficiently, a sharp uptick in operating expenses, sales, or operational headcount that damages its rule of 40 efficiency would draw criticism, and the government contract delays. Yep. So delays is a big thing. There is a technical cheat sheet in here, just shows you all of the confluence that I'm looking at on the Palantir chart. So you'll get all of this information if you do go on X at Down to Crypto TA. You'll see this post, and it'll just tell you you have to click the link, and it'll give you this this presentation right here. All right, so I'm going to go to the actual chart. I'm just going to cover through here so you can just really see. So right now you can see this low over here. This is where Palantir did get the bounce up from around the value area low right here. This node right here, you can combine it, this node right here to this value area low. That was one support area right there. Right here, you see the VWAP here, and this is the VWAP plotted off of. There's a trend line through here for Palantir, and this is the final touch point on that trend line right here. So this VWAP right here, which held price action here, and you can see no closure below the VWAP right here. So these are the two zones right here. So if Palantir does get a breakdown to the downside, you'd be looking at this one right here next. And again, all the information, the numbers and everything is right here for you, so you don't have to really worry about that. So just showing you your confluence all around this area and all around this area right here. Prior lows down here, along with your all-time. This is the VWAP from existence of Palantir. This one. Existence of Palantir being on the market is this VWAP right here, where you have your prior lows at right here, and you have some good volume right in here as well. This is just that golden pocket up here at that the first zone that you're seeing Palantir react from. This is just a local golden pocket pulled from that low to this high right here. It can be adjusted for here, and it will drop your golden pocket in a little bit so you can get a better view. I think if you pull it down a little bit, you don't get this closure below this this golden pocket right here. But nonetheless, again, just showing you all the confluence that for Palantir at this area right here, and again at this area right here, and that's the trend line right here, and this is what that VWAP was anchored off of right here. Some other stuff is the head and shoulders pattern formation that Palantir has been playing out. You are starting to put in a different pattern over here on this side. But if that head and shoulders were to play out, it'll put you right here. Same thing, again, more confluence around this area right here if we lose this one right here. You can see the cleaner bounce here off of the 50% retracement. Now this fib right here is pulled from the low of $5.92. So this is a macro Fibonacci retracement right here. Pull off of $5.92. This is the big boy right here. So again, that golden pocket is here, relatively close to the lows. And again, the head and shoulders pattern does measure into here. So if this is gone, again, you would come right here. And I think, yep, there's one more in here, and that's going to be your Bollinger Band. So on your 3-month time frame, you're sitting at the standard deviation 1, upside standard deviation 1. It doesn't go back that far, but obviously Palantir hasn't traded below this, or at least hasn't closed a 3-month candle below here. But if that happens, again, you see where your those two lows are right there, the same lows right here. You're going to have the 20 SMA right there. So again, more confluence on where we're at now and where we could be on Palantir. But I think it's a great buy. I think it's a great buy. A great buy. You had the mean reversion as well for your monthly time frame. So you're at your mean, your 50% right here. Your mean reversion is always a good place. Again, confluence around where Palantir is holding that right now. And then if Palantir was to get the drop down, there you go. Same two areas, that one and that one. So just showing you the different charts. I got a little insight down here, and that's the end of it. But it just gives you all of this this analysis that I did here on Palantir, just to show you all of the confluence that you'll have, and technical cheat sheet that gives you the levels and what to look at. On X at Down to Crypto TA, just click that little link and it'll take you there. All right, so let me put you on the actual Palantir chart. We'll see what price action is looking like right now as I speak, and let's put on the weekly time frame over here. All right, so pre-market we're here. I like to use the 24-hour chart, but because we can see it in real time by using this one. And all right, and here we go here. So now you can see that a little bit better. Now that I got my cursor over it, you can see the value area low here being respected off of that drop there. The anchor VWAPs. The anchor VWAPs. This is that one that comes from the low here, from the trend line that we're holding. I just separate everything so you can see everything a lot easier. You got the this here, but like I said, if you were to move this, it may not make too much of a difference. It may not. If I can get it directly on that low. No, didn't make too much of a difference. I thought, oh, not really. It looks better looking at the macro macro fib retracement anyway. It looks a lot better. And that's this one. As I pile up all this noise, pile all this noise up on you, that Head and Shoulders right here, which is not showing up on this. Well, the little red stuff that you were seeing, it's not showing up right here, but the Head and Shoulders right here, and then whatever pattern we're trying to build out right here. Currently on Palantir, you see all of that. And there was another pattern in here that I had on my chart. I initially posted on Palantir a couple of months ago, gave you a breakdown of a lot of this stuff. I didn't give you all of this right here, but that's just so you can see that what I'm looking at here. But there was another one, which was this little triangle right here, this triangle pattern right here. And we basically did this triangle pattern right here. So imagine getting that Head and Shoulders to actually play out, right? Imagine that. Also here on the, let's put this back up, put this over here on the weekly, right here. Take a look at this VWAP right here. I think this one is, yeah, that's the larger one right there. Let's go with the year right here. All right. So on the year, currently below the VWAP for the year, of course, we've been rolling over, head and shoulder breakdown. I think we even did a back test in here for that continuation, or the triangle that was through here. You could have did either one of those. But at this point, honestly think that Palantir is like a great buy. If you scoop up a little bit right here, and it's not financial advice, and just saying, we scooped up a little bit right here, and then down here. I mean, Palantir it's a superb company. It is, in terms of numbers, is a really great company. Um, but if it does continue to roll over, it's going to take quite a bit of time for it to get here. And of course, this VWAP right here probably rise up a little bit more, and then you're going to be looking at these same lows in here that I'm talking to you about in terms of support. In terms of support, because you never know if it's going to make it here. You just don't know if it's going to make it here. So if it's a company you like, I would consider right in here with scooping some up, and it's already moving away, hitting these prior lows right here. Um, but if you feel like, you know what, I'm not that interested, I'm willing to wait, then there's a chance you could get it in here. So something to think about with Palantir. And this is the one for SpaceX. Again, this one is just a simple link that you click on, and it just pulls this up for you, and gives you all of this data. This right here is less about the technical analysis, because there's not enough data for SpaceX. But I just simply went, and you can pull this information yourself also. You just go to the SEC website if you want to get this information about when they're unlocking tokens. So it's going to give you all the information on when those unlocks are going to start taking place for SpaceX. All right. So right now, earnings is Tuesday, and this unlock right here, the earliest date available for sale in the public market, is the second full trading day on NASDAQ immediately following the first earnings release date, which is again Tuesday. So that's going to be on the 4th. So two full trading days behind that is going to be the 6th, August 6th, for those unlocks. So it's going to be up to 911.5 million shares of SpaceX being unlocked. Now, that doesn't mean that because 911.5 million shares are being unlocked, that all of that's going to hit the market. So I want you to understand that. It doesn't mean that all of that is going to hit the market. Everybody's just going to sell, and that's what's going to happen. It's not that case. They have the right to sell on August 6th. They have the right to sell. And then it shows you the other unlock dates and the criteria. There's this one in here where if the reported closing price of SpaceX is at least 30% greater than the public offering price, which was $135, was the IPO price, and it's trading above that at least 5 of 10 consecutive trading days, then people had the right to sell. So there was a clause in here where you could actually sell SpaceX if price was 30% above the initial public offering, and it was above that price for a certain amount of, it was 30% greater for a certain amount of days, consecutive days, then that 455.8 million shares could be unlocked to sell. All right. But we're past that point now. So you don't have to worry about that. And I can tell you that that didn't happen. Okay. And then You have the one for August 20th right here, where 319 million shares of SpaceX hits the market. So this just covers all of the release dates all the way into 2027. This does all the way into 2027, what you can expect those release dates to take place and how much you can expect to hit the market all the way into 2027. Where Mr. Musk himself, up to 6.4 billion shares, held by Mr. Musk, held by Mr. Musk. He's free. He's free. He will be free. But it gives you all of that. And this right here just covering what you can expect again here for the month of August, which is this month, that 415.8 million shares, which again, the stock had to close at 30% or more above the IPO price, which means that it had to be trading at 175.50 cents, $175.50 on at least 5 of the 10 consecutive trading days. And we didn't get that. So price action at the time when I did this was at 107.72. So the condition was not satisfied. So you don't have to expect for those shares to hit the market unless we get a God candle out of nowhere today. Maybe, but you don't have to worry about this. The 915 shares just shows you the date again, August 6th. This becomes available to trade, but are not required to be sold. So people with lockups, I'm one of those people, and not selling. It's at a loss. Think about it. If you're seeing this headline hit the markets and people are trying to spook you out, think about what price action is right now. Now you'll have some big money that got in at much lower prices than that IPO. But for most people, they'd be selling at a loss. So that shouldn't bother you. This 319, this is different. The 319 million shares. This represents 7% of the shares originally subject to the 180-day lockup agreement. That's August 20th. This unlock is automatic. There's nothing that stops this from hitting the market. This just hits the market. August 20th. Keep that date in mind. August 20th. That's where your concern needs to be at. August 20th. Not August 6th. Although you can watch that. August 20th is what you have to be concerned about, because this is an automatic unlock. This is automatic shares hitting the market, depreciating the value. August 20th, 319 million shares. So I just really let you know what you need to be focused on and what you really shouldn't focus on too much, and what everything is going to look like. I'm going to put you on the real chart anyway, but this is in here as a guidance if you need it. And this is just showing off of IPO. And like I said, at the time when I did it, you can see that from IPO, SpaceX trading 20.21% down into our 786 extension level. 20.21% down. That's where we're currently sitting at right now for SpaceX. If we drop down further, this orange line right here is going to be your 1-to-1. It'd be trading at 30.99% below IPO, below the 135 right here. Now this is where you start to get into your max pain right here. 47.70% off right here, 1.272 max pain level, and then of course your 1.618 all the way down here, negative 68.97%. You hear me tease a lot about I'm going to buy SpaceX at $40. I've said it on several of the streams. I'm going to get it at $40. I'm going to accumulate all the way down here, and I'm going to load the boat in I'm not gonna have a home anymore. I'm not gonna be eating ramens just so I can collect it at $40. I don't know that that's gonna happen. Usually you see about a 50%, something like that from IPO price, maybe something like that. So max pain, but it just shows you from IPO some levels that we could see SpaceX hit, but right now it was holding up at around the 786. We're going to check that and make sure that that is still the case for SpaceX. And then, of course, the local resistance in here right now coming from the prior lows right here. There is some bullish divergence underneath, but there's also a bearish overtone right here. This RSI momentum break right here did nothing but put in more bearish divergence right through here. And at some point, possibly, like you can see it already broke below this low right here. But at some point, possibly, it could swing back up and actually not put into bear divs. But right now, that's all you've been getting is bearish divergence. So if you're buying it on margin, you're probably getting wrecked. Just use your own capital. Use your own capital. That's all I would be able to tell you. So use your own capital because it's not there. It's not there. And there's not a lot of data to go off of for SpaceX. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And just basically the bottom line, again, like I said, because the stock is currently trading below its IPO, the performance-based release, it was a performance-based release of an additional 455.8 million shares is not expected to be triggered, reducing the amount of potential supply entering the market after earnings. So you don't have to worry about that 455.8. That's not going to hit. And then the primary focus, again, should be August 20th. August 20th unlock should be your primary focus and not what happens on the 6th. Okay. So that's that for good old SpaceX. And you can see we over here dropping. Still dropping. Why I said I would not. I would not. I would not be using margin on SpaceX, not for no long positions. You're gonna buy it. You know what to do. Just use your own money. A trend-based fib extension. So we're breaking down below our 786 now. And 9307. What I mean, we'll see if we get there. 9307. Max Pain coming in right here. 93, not Max Pain, sorry, Max Pain is down here. This is just going to be a 1-to-1 right here. This is a 1-to-1 of this situation right here. Dropping into the 93.47. $100 is a psychological level. It's not like it's going to hit $100 and just, perfect $100 tap and then bounce away. You still end up putting in bear divs against all of this. And not a lot of data. So my DCA plan has been this simple. Buy a little there, buy a little there, buy a little there. And Lord, please buy a lot. Buy a lot. SpaceX isn't a profitable company. It's not a profitable company right now. So there's no takeaway in terms of the numbers. There just isn't one in terms of the numbers. And I was supposed to have switched this over, so I still can't get my stuff together. I still can't get my stuff together. I'm supposed to switch that over so when you come here, you know, okay, I'm talking about the unlocks and impact on the market. SpaceX, yeah. Um, that's what I see. And I'm gonna keep teasing about it, but you know, a sale down to here. I mean, just think about it. Like it would take some time, uh, but 40 bucks. I'm gonna keep teasing about it, but 40 bucks can happen. It can happen. This is just all that IPO, IPO stuff right here. Let me turn on the levels so you can actually see what they are. So you can see that's the one-to-one right there, the $93. Uh, the 1.272 max paying level, around about a 50, around about 50% off of IPO. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Most IPOs do this. They do this right here. And 70 bucks. And to be honest with you, it doesn't hurt to sit on your hands and just let the market change structure. It doesn't hurt to do that either. You can do the DCA plan, or you can let the market change structure and then be like, okay, I'll pick some up now. Um, I just like buying the low, buying it as it falls. I like catching knives. That's my thing. I like catching knives. This just helps you confirm that you do have that bullish divergence down below again, but that's not playing out at all. This is the only, you won't get any data if I were to push. You're not going to get much data if I were to push forward. So it is me having to use the 4 hour time frame to get some sort of technical indicator numbers right in here. Hello. Good morning to Crypto Live Trading and Joe. The Corn King was saying good morning to you. I couldn't hear. I can hear him because he's right here next to me. He was saying good morning to you, Joe. On the chat. His mic isn't working, I think. Can I look at Turbo? Okay. Yep. So that's that. It's like I said, not a lot that can be given to you uh, for SpaceX. It's just no historical data to look back at. There's nothing over here, just the fibs. Another way of doing it though is looking at your deviations. I know that this is like complete trash right here. Uh, this is just complete trash. So it's basically been holding up on the uh, standard deviation 2. It's basically been bouncing off of this right here. But you can see this continues to decline to the downside. So it's easy to drop down into these numbers right in here. Using a channel is the only other way I could tell you to do it. Look at what you get for SpaceX. But anyway, it was just that and AMD. But AMD. This one you don't have to click a link for it. It's on X. Me and my all the time I had on my hand. It just shows you what the expectations are for AMD coming up here. Revenue consensus sit at approximately 11.3 million. That's AMD's official guidance. Was 11.2 billion, plus or minus 300 million. Then the non-GAAP EPS, earnings per share, projected around $1.55 to $1.61 per share. What to look for when you're listening to that call or whatever numbers get released. This is what you need to be looking out for. Okay, gross margins expected to land near 55.9% to 56%, and Q3 guidance target. Wall Street is looking for Q3 revenue guidance around 12.5 billion and an EPS outlook of 1.87. I can post a link. The link I did not post the link for again, this one right here just includes like 4 slides. So some of the stuff that you're going to see in this isn't going to be in the post on X. All right. This just shows you what some of the problems could be for AMD, that can cause a sharp decline. Okay. So yeah, this information isn't going to be there, but I'm not gonna well, actually, let's see. A weak Q3 foreign guidance because the market is forward looking. A beat and hold is rarely enough when tech valuation multiples are evaluated. If AMD reports strong Q2 results but issues Q3 revenue or margin guidance below the expected 12.5 billion range, the stock could react negatively. One of the other things is supply chain bottlenecks. So chip delivery timelines, that's going to be a big thing. You know, again, that was a big issue for Tesla. So chip delivery, just getting things done on timeline, given the escalation in the Middle East, gas prices, or whatever the situation is that can be slowing things down. That could be something that comes up. While data center and client Ryzen Plus CPUs have been strong, traditional gaming consoles, Radeon GPUs, and embedded segments have faced cyclical headwinds. A steeper than expected decline in those secondary segments could weigh on total gross margins. Okay. And then I just give you some of the technical outlook. Now, this is in the post on X that don't require you to post a link. It just tells you where the resistance is. So AMD is facing heavy technical resistance around 450 to 460. It is really struggling. We're gonna look at that chart too, but it's really struggling around that 450 to 460. Trying to break above that high has been a problem for AMD. Downside support, you're going to have 3 downside targets for AMD. So downside support 429 to 408. We've already seen one bounce from that area right there. So we're going to end up scratching that off the table. What your confluence there is going to be your local VWAP. And really you don't have a lot right there. You have your local VWAP. You have an RSI read of 30 in that zone, an RSI read of 30 in that zone, but not a lot. But you do have some support right there, and we did see a reaction from that area. The next downside support is going to come in between 362 to 326. You have a lot more confluence there. You have your 1 year VWAP sitting there. You have your value area low there. You have a local golden pocket there, and you'll have a RSI read of 22. And the reason why I put the RSI reads in there is simply because AMD, since 2015, you take a look at their 24-hour chart since 2015, this is the max they do, 30 to 22 on the RSI. So now if you see that, if you go check out that post, it'll make sense to you why that's there, 30 to 22. And that is these targets right here for that RSI read also. And then the last one that I would look at, which I don't think this one right here, I'm not thinking about this one right now. I'm really thinking about this one right here. All right. The other one is going to be between 263 to 236. You're going to have your previous highs there. You have an ascending trend line there. You have an anchor VWAP from the low of 75.20, $75.20, and you have the macro golden pocket there. So if whatever happens, and the thing that could happen is going to be this right here. So this would be the thing that could happen. High options implied volatility before the announcement often cause option premiums to collapse immediately after release. If the post earning move isn't large enough to break key technical levels, options hedging unwinds can exert downside pressure on the shares. That can get you there. That can get you this. AMD is too high. It's too high. It's a sale, in my opinion. It's a sale and not something I would be looking to long. Even if you think you're getting a little move off of it, it would not be something I would be looking to long. It's high. It's high. And that correction is needed. It's needed. This is on X. This part right here is showing you where that local resistance is at here, right around this point of control right here. But up here, you can see these highs right here. Forget about this one, but right through here, where you have most of this action taking place right here. That's the resistance that I'm referring to right there. And you can see how AMD got this nice little bottom and tail at one point, came all the way back up, broke through that point of control right there, and still couldn't get past that resistance. Still ended up capping out at that resistance. It is major resistance. So even if you think AMD is pushing through that resistance for some reason, if something happens and it starts to go, think again. It is major resistance. Okay. This is that VWAP mentioned right here. That VWAP of support right here. That first area right here. Already seen a reaction off of it back into some resistance, back into the resistance right there. These prior lows right here. We're going to look and see if it's coming back down. But that's that. So that's this one right here. It's not doing this right now, in my opinion, but that's this one right here. You've already changed market structure here as well. Got a closure below this low right here. Closure below this low. The next area right here that's mentioned is where you have the local golden pocket pulled from this low here to this high. That's the local golden pocket along with the value area low right here. High volume right here as well. This is going to be your second area to look at for AMD. And then, of course, the big boy is that last one right here where you have the golden pocket pulled from the lows down here. The lows down here, macro fib retracement pulled from the lows down there to the high up here. That's this one right here, along with your prior highs, your momentum line through here, and of course your VWAP. That's all sitting right here. So those are the areas to look for right there. So and then again, just back to what I was saying about what could cause a sharp move. Not being able to break that resistance. So if the price bounces on a solid report but gets rejected right at major overhead resistance, traders will view it as a failure to make a higher high. Without breaking above resistance to establish a new leg up, sellers step in and momentum stalls out quickly. That's what, if you're a bull, that's what you got to look out for, okay? If you're a bear, holding support. On the flip side, if the stock drops on earnings, it needs to break below major support levels for short sellers or put holders to stay in control. If it hits support and holds, the move gets absorbed, leading to a quick bounce back into the prior trading range. But the problem comes in right here, right here. If it gets stuck, if you get the sharp move down and it holds, but then it starts to rally and it still can't break through that resistance, or if it gets the sharp move to the downside and the support starts to hold or consolidation, that's what's going to cause that bottleneck. That's what's going to cause that problem for AMD. So big problem, big problem. That's it. Thank you. Any questions? Just say no. So that's that actual chart. Go 24-hour. It's at 468 right now. So it's still holding. Nothing has changed. Let me see what I got in here. Just everything I covered, all of those levels right through here. Just really wanted to see where that price action was sitting at, and then of course those VWAPs right through there. And nope, not this one. This is actually on a lower time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, this will make sense to you. This trend line right here will make sense to you, but it's right here in the zone. It makes sense to you on a lower time frame. So if I was on a 4-hour, for example, you can see it makes sense now. It doesn't make sense from this other time frame. I didn't include this right here. I don't know why I clicked it, turned it on, and turned it off. It was there. So but this major resistance right through here. It's problematic. This is reading it up here. Don't really like that. I don't think it's going to change too much if I move it, because it's not the resistance, but sometimes that's just what it calculates. Now it's only moving the low, so I'm gonna cancel. But it's not here. This is not your concern. That's a gap right there. Your concern is again right here. It's right about. Actually, I prefer it like this. Yeah, I think that does it a little bit better. That's your resistance right there. So that reads about 560. 560. That's your resistance overhead right there. Overhead resistance for AMD. AMD is it's overpriced right now. It's overpriced right now. So I would be very careful about buying it through here. If you're trading, then I mean that's your business, but just it's not the place to buy it. It's not the place to buy it at all. In fact, it was. Let me turn this one off. Turn these off. You look right here. That's your trend line right through here. The last time before A&D got this bounce right here, I actually was on X posting. It was a good buy. On X, I said this is a good buy. All I was hearing was negative comments about AMD everywhere. just negative comments everywhere. And I looked at the charts and I gave a DCA plan right through here. And where are you at, baby? I can use this line right here. And so I said, this is where you want to buy it. This is where you want to buy it. And that was all it took. And boom, kaboom. I bought. I was so happy. I sold right in here. It was, yeah, right here off of this earnings. I sold. And then, of course, it continued up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out, missing out. But it was this right here was the plan on AMD. Let's see. Gosh, it feels like it was so long ago, and it really wasn't. And another thing that got me looking at AMD at the time when I had bought it, which sadly I don't have anymore. So once it does come down, I'm swooping this thing up. Was I was working for Snapdragon company called Snapdragon. I was working for them, and so I was learning a lot in terms of chips. And I learned a lot about AMD, and I learned too much because that's why I ended up selling after their earnings right there. It wasn't like it was a bad thing on the earnings. It really wasn't, but they didn't do too well. They didn't do too well with. It was it's a yearly, some sort of a yearly event that they attend, and I didn't like what they were producing on the chip, so uh, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sell it. So when I tell you that it's too high, AMD is not a place to buy it. It is a place to. I'm not saying you need to sell, but it's just not a place, in my opinion, to be trying to buy it for sure. You take a look at this right here. Now this is the big boy right here. This is the decade VWAP. You can see it finally got past all of this on the decade VWAP, the 10-year VWAP. Finally got past all of that to break up here. Don't you know that that is not where you want to be? Buying it, you don't want to be buying up here. You don't want to be buying up here. Great move, beautiful, beautiful freaking push, breaking above all of this. Rejection, rejection, rejection. And to finally get that break above this 10-year. But it's too much. Look at that. That, my friend. I mean, after you get the explosion, fine. When you get the explosion, that makes sense. This is where it starts to not make sense. They start spreading out. It's too much. It drops. Or if it pushes up, you catch resistance again. But it's too much up here. So I would look for, if I could get it back here on this trend line, that'd be great. I can hear the people who don't like AMD saying it's trash again, but that would be my go-to right here. I have no problems right in here too. Right in here. This VWAP right here. Have no problems with that too. Let me see. Uh, this one puts you right about dead on to that 1 year VWAP right there. Right about dead on into that 1 year VWAP. Right there at that local golden pocket pull from that low to that high right there for AMD. And then of course your second, um, your macro golden pocket push you down below it where it becomes really attractive to buy it. Below here it becomes very attractive to buy it. It does. But this thing is high. This thing is high. 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 Oh, let me turn those off. I'm gonna go back over here and check out Bitcoin. I did get a request. I don't know if I'm too late for it, but I just need to get through those things first. And because they were on my list of things that I needed to cover. All right. Let's see what it was. Oh, somebody said, "Are you a gay?" What is that? Who asked that? Crypto. Okay. Anyway, Turbo. Turbo used to be my baby. That's weird. Whoever that was. Turbo used to be my baby. We're still just battling with this trend line right here. See about Turbo for you. Hope I still got Turbo in here. Hold on. Haven't looked at Turbo in over a year now. I think it's been at least a year. I still hold it. I never look at it. So I'm going to be surprised if I see it now. Where are you at, Turbo? Oh, there it is. Been a long time. Let me put it on the daily so I can see if I have anything in here. Oh, it's all the way down to 7 cents. Yeah, it's been a long time since I looked at this chart. Yeah, it's been over. Yeah, it's been over a year. These things are still sitting all the way back here, and they never change. So that's the beauty of knowing where stuff hits. Got bullish divergence, I'm assuming, because it broke above this trend line right here and it failed. So it must have some bullish divs in here somewhere. Yeah, it does. Ever so slightly. Ever so slight. Let me zoom up. I'm gonna leave that there. That way I know. Yeah, you putting in bull divs. don't need that. Not looking bad on the daily time frame. Is this thing preparing for a pop? Could be. It looks like it might be preparing for a nice push up. Obviously, you have a Bollinger Squeeze in here. I'm only saying that because I'm looking at this nozzle nose on this MACD. So volatility is really tight through here. And I would be thinking that this is going to expand up. Looks like you had a squeeze right in here. And so you tried and failed, had a squeeze in here, tried and failed, squeeze right here. Got a little bit more successful right there. Hold on, let me lock this down. Let me see what's going on. Look at a weekly real quick here so I can really see what's happening. And just put something on this little area right here. Okay. This don't look bad at all. I mean, it looks bad, but it don't look bad at all. I just want to highlight this right here. No, I really need to separate this. Yeah. I don't. Get that. But I like where it is right now. Give it a little over for a stop. Let me see. So that value area, that's this right here. Yeah, that is that right there. Okay, so I don't have to do that. I'm trying to see. Oh, what am I doing? Let's see if it's anything. $5.5, 0.75. That ain't gonna work. Going through that. Let's do this. I might not be able to find a good WAP. This is still going to be too far off. Anyway, it's not necessary. It is sitting at the value area high of this range right here. That's good. Prior, you got prior high support right there, and then you got some prior low, again, support right there. So that's pretty good. Might be a five wave move right here. This could be. I'm gonna zoom out to another time frame and see if that's the situation. Might have that here. Let's look at daily. Let me turn that off. The daily is really like it's a little bit too long. Three. It's a little bit too long in time over here. And then it's 5. It's still longer than 1. If that were to be a 1, it's still longer than that. But this 4, if this was a 4, so it's definitely not the shortest wave. That's a good. Let me see if that was a 382 rejection. That would be helpful. I think this is the low. I think that's the low. Yep, 382.50 rejection right there. I can move it just right there. But yeah, perfect Perfect little rejection right there from the bullish guys, the bullish duo. And then on drop to the downside, is this a little lower? I'm just trying to see. 87.60. They're the same. So I can just move it right here because they're the same. All right. And let's see. Let's see. Yeah, see, I like this. I like it. I like it. I like it. Would I leverage up on it? No, I would not. But I like this. Yeah. Yeah. Look like a 5 wave completion, or at least coming into here into this golden pocket right in between these two right here, possibly right here. And yeah, I mean, it was looking good. Looks pretty decent right through here. Let's see. Daily is flashing green. I mean, the bullish divergence on the RSI, the bullish divergence on the MACD. Mm, got a swing fail. That attempt, swing failure. Hold on, let me see what else that was right here. Let's see off of this low. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, if it comes in a little bit more, I would probably put on some margin for it if it comes in a little bit lower right in here. But it'd be a very small position size with adding the margin to it simply because you want to have more of your capital, or just buy it with your own money. But this looks pretty good right here. I like this. Let me check and see if there's a cap on volatility, so I know if there's actually is going to get a, yeah, it is a cap on volatility right here too. Um, so we are looking for it to expand out of here and break through. Could is this 1 year? No, this is the monthly. Gotcha. I was having a hard time seeing you for a minute there. I like it where it is. A little bit more, give me some confidence, I think. But I like it. I like it where it is. So now I can see you. Yeah, then maybe it pushes up into that anchored VWAP right through here. If it happens, I can see how the VWAP through here has been acting as resistance on this thing. Resistance, even if it does get a little pop above. But yeah. If it dips back down here into these lows, into this golden pocket in this area right here, I don't know why I keep repeating myself. If it does, I'm stuck on it right now. If it does this, then I actually like it a lot. So be on the lookout for that. Could be the end of a motive wave right here. And then you're looking for an ABC correction to the upside, possible little small inverse right here. And we did see that bullish divergence down below. Not right here though. It's not right here, so I can't call this I can't call this an inverse, but it resembles it. But goodbye, goodbye. I'll put a alert on that. And look out for that. 70.95, but right now holding the value area high, or yeah, or some prior lows that are sitting right through here. So like that. Get back over here on Bitcoin. No, I did not do a Rose analysis. I can take a look at Rose though, no problem. My alerts still haven't gone off. I love me some Rose. Let me see which one. It's the USD. It's bluffing. Let's see which one I got analysis on. Yeah, it's probably USD. I don't know if I can use some things I have over here on the USD chart, but let's take a look at it. It's looking the same. Looking the same, but look at this. Got a few more green lights. 15 1 hour daily and monthly. I like that. Pushing up on your 4 hours, so you're around about your mean reversion on your 4 hour time frame, and weekly is in the toilet, but holding up all right. Let's see what we got here. Kill that for a second. And see on the weekly real quick what we're dealing with. Oh, this is the first time Rose has gotten this low. Is something wrong with this chart? This can't be. I wouldn't have been able to draw my levels if it never. I mean, I can, but that's interesting. Look like I did look at something. Let me get rid of that. Let's check for divergences first in here. So no divergence on the weekly time frame. That's a bummer. None on the weekly time frame. Huh. But it still looks good. Still looks like it's at a place where it could. But no divergence there. How about on the monthly? Nothing here either. That sucks. But MACD is coming up, and this is MACD is coming up. Oh, it's the first time. Well, hmm. Wait and see if we can't count something. Can we count something? Can we count something? 2 week. Gotta squeeze. Gotta squeeze. It is so in the toilet. This is probably where turn this weekly stuff off for a minute there. Probably. Let me see if that looks the same here on this time frame right here. That low. You want to see this see that little yellow line right there. So a reclaim back above here could be bullish. Um, uh, you know what? It's gonna be hard for me to find what I'm looking for. It'll be hard for me to find what I'm looking for. Okay, so your local resistance is gonna come here right through here. Let me slide this back a little bit like that. So unless you're trying to definitely catch a bottom, you could come back up. Maybe not that high. Not that high. I'm gonna pull that down. And then do a back test on this right here. And then get the push up, which you would generally be looking for it to at least take out that high right there. So I'm gonna set that like that. I'm gonna pull this in because I don't think that that's gonna be possible. Not right there. I can tell you right here. From here, yeah, that's about right. Something like that. So yeah, Now I can really see it. So that is kind of like on point right there. Need to get above here. So that yellow line that was popping out right there, that's where bulls tried to step in right there and they failed on that push up that pushed you underneath your any sort of bullish condition that would have been met there. And so your mean reversion sits right here. So yeah, getting a push up above here, maybe right into here for rejection, and then you get that move up. And I would be looking forward to at least coming here and take out this high. You can be a little bit more conservative if you like with the second one right here, second pivot high up here, because that is yep. Let's go with that. Let's go with that because you got all of these lows in here, and then I had just noticed that. Okay, so you got all of these lows right through here. That's going to be major resistance right there for Rose, but it looks like you could be setting up for that pop to the upside. I would just let it confirm on the break out of here in the back test because it's more than likely going to back test. It's not going to just push out of here and just blast off into, God knows where. It's not going to do that. It's going to push up and then get pulled down, but it's holding. I do like that. So it is starting to show that you're picking up a trend in here, right through here with this ending. It looks like something is ending right here for the breakup, back test, push up into prior lows as resistance. That's a pretty decent move right there. I have to say it's a pretty decent move. Um, oh, you're talking about, oh, you okay, let me see, see. The setup looks like the Cardi setup. Wrote that for 150%. That's freaking amazing. That's amazing. And what's been the scam? Blast to 300K. But what's been the scam though? 9 to 14. And you say you're looking for um characterism. I like the name too. You say you're looking for 9. You're looking for 9 to 14. Oh, you're talking about okay. So you are talking about Rose. I had to look back over here and be like, dot double O, dot double O. Yeah, I think you're good right in there. And I think that that's going to be weekly resistance also. That was a weekly resistance level right here. So yeah, that looks pretty good. You come in, you hit this low right here, you get the rejection, back test on your weekly level too. So a back test onto your weekly level, and then you manage to push through here and break into the lows. I like this too. I like this too. Let me see if I can't find any other confluence though. Um, aside from that, let's see how much we move down. Take that off again. Let's just measure out this part right here on the fib extension right here. And let's go with these Elliott extensions. So it's at a 1-to-1 of, let me turn that on so we can see the trend line from where I drew it from. Yep. So it's at a 1-to-1 from here. It looks like I got something turned off. This one right here, which I don't see that happening. That's a negative. Nah, that's not happening. And that 1-to-1, that looks, I mean, and it's still at that weekly low. It's still around that weekly low. It just needs to come back up. So got that. Let's see. See what else we got. You can see the squeeze right there. I just wanted to, yeah, yeah. So definitely gonna be resistance coming up first. Whatever happens, gonna be resistance coming up first. So you got the squeeze. That's good to see. Um, oh yeah, it won't let me use it over here because it's USD. Don't let you use it on USD. Yeah, it's gonna pop. I like it. I love rows. I used to just sit here and just trade rows all day long, up until I quit. If I had anything in here to show you, no, I don't. I may have deleted all the stuff, but I used to just sit here and just trade rows like that. It pays pretty well once it moves. I'm not scared of this one at all. I actually like this a lot. This and Turbo was looking pretty good. So thank you for that. All right, let me check back on Bitcoin. I need to see where we're at. I think this was a. I don't know if this was on that. Actually, let me zoom out. I haven't zoomed out to look at your chart either. Forgive me for that. So right here, and I can see it a lot better too. Hold on. It's just below that 1-to-1. Come back in. That's a little bit too zoomed out. Switch sides. That's a humongous move. You know what? I didn't realize how much of a move that's going to be for that to happen. That's a humongous move. Crap. Hold on. Let me. Oh, no. Jeez. I'm sorry. Will you just get on there? Good Lord. Just go down here. Thank you. So I know you don't want to wait for that to happen, but I mean, that seems like the more logical thing to do. You want to get past these lows, otherwise, you'll just be coming in to hit them anyway. That's still a move to be made. Yeah, more locally, if you get above here and you can back test, you have a higher low, and that'll be good to get in on something like this. Maybe if you're looking for something a little bit more of a motive, you don't want it to back test this, it would need to push past this, but it would have to not come back and touch this top right here. So that back test wouldn't work. But more locally, you could have a higher low um, in play. See if this was a golden pocket. Then I'm gonna get back on bitty. Yeah, so that was a golden pocket bounce right there. So that could be good. And I'll take out that high. I just want to see what's going to get you back up here to this trend line right here. If you do that, and then let's say that this was the low right here. It's managing to get to here to, let me take this away. Manage to get to there. Then you will want to see, uh, you wouldn't want to see it do anything more than that. And then from there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, no more than this. 382 bounce, and then I think this would be a max potentially, but let me see. Let me do one more fib pull. Got that one. So I was coming off of that up to here, and then down to there. Yeah, that will get you back towards that trend line right there. So this could be in the midst of a motive wave right here and get you back into this trend line right here for the falling wedge that's in play. Love it. All right. Uh, guess that explains why the alert isn't going off. We're not going anywhere right now. Not going anywhere. Just trapped. Might put in me a bid on that rose though. Hmm. Need to do it now, I guess. Do I have rose against BTC? I don't, but let me see what that looks like. CoinX. Hmm. Oh, we just hit one of our, hold on, sorry. Let me add this though. It's performing pretty good against Bitcoin at the moment. Add that right there. You see what just happened to Bitcoin. Oh no, that's a different alert. My bad. But Yeah, rolls against Bitcoin is looking pretty decent right now too. That's a you can't tell looking right here. That's for sure. But it's pushing here on this little 15 minute. Let me see. 1 hour, 1 hour squeeze against BTC. That squeeze just got released, so it must be hitting like a 20 SMA right now. Why isn't there a better chart to look at Oasis against Bitcoin? Be nice if there was a better chart. This what we're looking like over here on the 4. Hmm. I've got to get out of here. So let me run back over here to Bitcoin and call it a stream. I really appreciate you. I really, really, really appreciate you. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the same thing. Look like we might be heading into that now. Um, so we're looking like, look at that. We look like the Red Sea. We look like the Red Sea across the board. Since it didn't get past here, I guess that would have been the optimal short right there, as opposed to waiting on this move up here, right? I'm already in a short, and just that just seemed better. But it's gonna take out these lows down here. Yeah, Bitcoin definitely getting ready to take out these lows. So what I would look for, see. There we go. Breaking that value area low. This isn't a thing anymore where it's that big of a deal, because you can see, it's been managing to break through it after tapping into it a few times. It's been managing to break below it now. This entire time we've been holding up at a 382.50. Interesting. bit of lower bounds in here. People still trying to buy this value area low. This looks like what you want right here. That looks like what you want. I'm just going to stretch this out. Not that I'll be looking for a stop down here, but it's another move right there. I'm just going to look back at, because this can be adjusted. So it's not based on just having to interact there. The entry could also be right here. Actually, let me not do that. I'm gonna let it roll through here though. Once it rolls through and takes out the liquidity, markets will show. So then this could end up being adjusted to like something like that for a bigger move. I'm just marking out what we're looking like. So 786. I know it's not the exact golden pocket because you're gonna have to take out that wick right here. So I know it's not this. Support comes in through here on a breakdown. So I would look at this. You have these prior lows in here where we got a reaction from, and you got some pretty good shelf life right there. You can see that one right here. So it could be that entry or this entry right here. And then this is going to be a problem if it comes back up. If we get this breakdown, it looks like we're going to get that breakdown. If we were to get this breakdown, don't bounce. Don't try to bounce. So if it rolls over through here, it's going to have a hard time coming back up. So if you have more of a short interest, then that'll be a good short. That, my friend, will be a good short because it's going to struggle. Let's see what else is holding on to. The daily level of support. Look like we slipped past that. Yeah, we did. We slipped past that. Yeah, we've been slipping past that. Hold on. We got data this morning. We have ISM at 10 a.m. Okay, that's not until 10 a.m. Okay. So yeah, we got data at 10 a.m. And again, I do appreciate you for joining me. We look pretty bearish in my opinion. I expect for us to drop into here. This is something that I'll be looking for. Um, my next long attempt. Since I'm already short, I could take another short, but it's gonna. Ugh, this is not it right here. Can't take it from here. Take it if it breaks down and back test it right here, but cannot take it from here. Cannot short support. Um, there's one other thing that crossed my mind, and that is see how we performing over here. Oof. Crushing it. And I'm like, why is my drawing showing up? Hold on. I think because this was what none of my stuff is showing up. Let me change this chart right here back and find what chart am I on? I mean, what pane am I in? Oh, okay, I'm in my 1 hour pane. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I couldn't see it. It's supposed to be my 1 hour chart. 15. Because this is having some impact on markets right now. 24. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. This was beautiful too. I just did a quick little post on it. Had a nice, beautiful squeeze down here to the downside. Came back above the level that it needed to reclaim back above, which was that 0.006 right here. Of course, they've been buying it up, so that helped too. It did a beautiful back test on the level right here. So when I posted on it, we hadn't touched it yet, but I said in the post that a back test and hold on this level right here, and you can be looking for an amazing pop up here on the yen. On the yen, and it did it. Beautiful back test too, man. Beautiful. Back testing this one now. Go on, baby, do your thing. This is the last level I put in. After this, I will look at the next levels if the yen continues to pump. If it gets past that 0.006497, which I'll be looking for a reaction right there. Sometimes if a level is on here, if it breaks through the level, it back tests it. If it rejects from it, I mean, it is what it is. So if it breaks through it and it doesn't reject, it usually back tests it. So look for that. I will post on the yen. Anybody who's interested in Forex, interested in something like this, I will give you the updated levels, the next levels that are through here. Right now, I figured just focusing on this area right here was the thing to look at. But that is pretty good right there. Got some stuff in here. So I was just looking at everything that's inside this zone right here. All the levels that are inside this zone right here. The next zone on the yen, once it can get past here, let me just click on it so we can see that number. It's going to be 0.006662. So it should, if it gets through here, if it gets through this level right here, it will just blast up and come into the next level right here, which is where I will put in what zones of attack right in here inside of this next one for yen. 0.006662, and that goes all the way up to 0.007099. I mean, it could decide it don't want to stop, right? It could decide it don't want to stop, but this is what it looks like when you zoom out. You got this larger, like we're just inside of this right here. So, I mean, lower time frames look absolutely amazing. we're just inside of this one right here. So that is a big move though. That is a big move to just push through here and tap into this one right here, which would be some major resistance starting from here. But then once it breaks inside, it's just the levels, about the levels that are within here. And then you have this larger falling situation right here for for the yen. On a more I guess over time we'll see how fast it decides it wants to move up. But I will be looking for a back test. I will be looking for yen, and it takes so long for this stuff to play out. We're talking years down the road, but right now that's pretty decent. That's why I'm taking it level to level right now, because it takes forever to see something like coming back up here. Just takes forever. But lovely, lovely yen. And that, again, my friend, is having some impact on price of Bitcoin and other stuff. All right, all right, all right. Love you so much. And